Welcome to Unlearn the Crap TV with your host, Kathy Baldwin. Unlearn the Crap TV is more than just a show. It's a movement towards breaking free from the disempowering structures designed to benefit the few at the expense of the many. It's about education, healing, and unlearning the detrimental beliefs that have been ingrained in society for generations. So now, please welcome the host of Unlearn the Crap TV, Kathy Baldwin.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a special episode of Unlearn the Crap. As we're filming this, we are finishing up the year 2024. And so today, I just wanted things to be a little bit different. Today, I just wanted to talk to you, Kathy to you, friend to friend, and let's just talk about 2024. How was your year? Did it shape up the way you thought or you wanted it to? Have you done an audit about what your year was like? Did you hit your goals, or were you like so many other people? 92%, I believe, when they set their goals and their intentions for the new year, most people drop them within their first week or two of January. And so then the rest of the year tends to be more on auto repeat or just kind of going along with the normal status quo. I encourage you to think about, what was your year like? Did you achieve the things that were important to you? Did you get what you wanted, or did you get something surprise? Because for me, I had an amazing year, nowhere near anything like what I had thought. 2024 brought me this show. I had no idea when the year started that I would be here talking to you about my entire year with Unlearn the Crap, with Bold Brave TV, with my book, the original book that came out that started all of this. And so I wanted to take this time to just kind of let's recap. Let's recap what worked for me and what is coming. Yes, if you just saw that, this was what it started with, and this is the new version of Unlearn the Crap that is being released today. Can we have that picture of my new cover? There it is. What do you think? This is what it was, and this is what it's going to. I'm really excited about this new version because when I first wrote the book Unlearn the Crap, it was about my healing journey, about the things that I learned, but it became so much bigger. It became so much more. And so I re-released the book. It came out December 12th in an ebook, and December 26th, the day this show is airing, is the new release of my new book. And so I put the lotus blossom on there. The lotus blossom is about self-awareness. It's about self-expression. And that's what Unlearn the Crap is all about. Unlearn the Crap as a movement, as the TV show that I am doing here with you, is all about self-awareness through education, through the understanding of who we are. And so we challenged a lot of things on this show over the year. Some of my really notable guests that I thought about, we talked with Lisa about polyamory and how there is so much more to sexual pleasure than we knew about. Who knew? We talked with Mark and Lynetta about traumas that came into relationships and how those relationships can heal traumas and actually become really powerful, intimate relationships. We talked to Zach, the health king. We talked about cancer and disease and all of the things that have come into our world. We also talked to Rachel Sekany about our water supply and how there are so many chemicals in our water that we don't know anything about, which that connected to Zach and health. We talked to Dr. Mort Orman about anger and how anger comes from our thoughts and our beliefs. And if we can challenge them, we can actually take the anger and transform it into something that is of use to us, because anger just takes us out of our game. I remember a really powerful conversation that we had with Danielle Sebastian, where we talked about how traumas from our childhood come into our relationships and they become toxic. And when you're in a relationship with someone who's suffered with childhood traumas and childhood abuses, that now you get swept up into their world and how their traumas now become your traumas in today, and how we can navigate these incredibly complex emotions and feelings because of the way our brains are wired. One of the conversations that I absolutely loved was with one of my partners that I work with, Melanie Warner. We talked about the power of your story and how everybody has a story, and how the world is looking for our stories to come forward so that we can help people. Do you know that there is a lot of value in what you've gone through? All of the experience and everything that you've encountered? That's what Unlearn the Crap was about. That was my story. That was my journey. And you have your own. And it has a purpose and it has a meaning. We talked so many things. We talked with Safa about feminine embodiment and how the rise of the feminine is coming forward and being called forward in each and every one of us, male and female, because we've been out of balance. We've been living in a world of control and sacrifice and trying to manipulate everything, which, when it's in that unbalanced state, becomes toxic. And how each one of us have this feminine embodiment of creativity, of empathy, of communication, of creation, and how important all of that is. We've had a lot of really important, impactful conversations here. And one of the conversations that has become really important to me is with someone who became a dear friend of mine, that I met through these type of conversations. Kim Beam was on the show the day after the US election. And her and I discussed the changes that that election brought and the emotions that it brought up. And we spent most of our conversation focused in on where our individual power lies. Not in the collective of what's happening in the election, not in what is out of our control, but how, if we use the fact that we have our own love, our own purpose, our own joy, and we bring that into the world, then that is the energy that we're spreading. And we have to be really careful not to take what's happening in external circumstances and let us take us off course, because we are in a really powerful time of our lives in the world. And the world needs us. The world needs us more than ever. And so last week's show was a fantastic way for me to wrap up the filming of Unlearn the Crap's Year, because Naz de la Rosa came and we were talking about the energetic connection of what happens with change. We talked about how in astrology we are changing from masculine into a feminine with the age of Aquarius, and how it was connected to this time that we are finding ourselves in, where we are in exponential change and things are happening fast, and they are only going to speed up. We live in a time where we have seen over 100 years of change happening faster and faster over the last 100 years, and how futurists are predicting that is going to happen in repeat in the next 10 years. I want you to imagine, if you could, what kind of changes are coming, and are you prepared for that kind of rate of change? That's what Unlearn the Crap is all about. Unlearn the Crap is about unlearning anything that takes you out of your empowerment, out of your zone of genius, and unlearning it and shedding it, because we don't need to carry with us anything that takes us off course. We can make a choice, we can make a decision, and we can move forward. And that is what I want us to be focusing in on. When we come back from our commercial break, I want to talk about what was in Unlearn the Crap, what we learned from it, and how we can take those lessons and apply it to each and every one of our lives. And so for the first time on air, I'm going to open up the book, and I'm kind of going to have a little book review with you. I'm going to talk to you about the important things that I absolutely want to make sure that everybody gets from this book. This is my celebration of the book being re-released, and how it is my gift to you and the world that we all step into the best versions of ourselves. So we're going to come back from commercial break. So use this time to make sure you subscribe and like, because I can only tell you how much more I got planned for 2025, and you're not going to want to miss any of it. So make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you in just a moment.
What if there were a super tiny device that could diagnose the brain and is smaller than a single human hair? What if you could see inside the brain to help an epilepsy patient during surgery, or to help the fight against Parkinson's disease? Dr. Patricia Broderick is proud to announce the Broderick Probe, a biomedical and electronic breakthrough. Imagine a probe to help with the understanding and potential cure of brain-related diseases. To learn more, listen live to the Easy Sense radio show with host Dr. Broderick, Wednesdays 7 p.m. Eastern on the Bold Brave Media Network and TuneIn Radio. And to help support the Broderick Foundation, please go to EasySense.com and learn how, with your help, we can fight these horrific brain disorders. That's EasySense.com to learn more and help support the Broderick Foundation. Author, radio show host, and coach John M. Hawkins reveals strategies to help gain perspective, build confidence, find clarity, achieve goals. John M. Hawkins' new book, Coached to Greatness, Unlock Your Full Potential with Limitless Growth, published by iUniverse. Hawkins reveals strategies to help readers accomplish more. He believes the book can coach them to greatness. Hawkins says that the best athletes get to the top of their sport with the help of coaches, mentors, and others. He shares guidance that helps readers reflect on what motivates them. Rediscover and assess their core values, philosophies, and competencies. Find settings that allow them to be the most productive and track their progress towards accomplishing goals. Listen to John Hawkins' My Strategy, Saturdays, 1 p.m. Eastern on the BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio.
So unlearn the crap. In the beginning of the book, I talk about where we came from, because we came from a original place of living where we were connected to nature, because there was only us and nature. And then society started to be created, and we went into the dark ages. And the dark ages were the really big time that has affected us from where we are today. Because after the dark ages, that's where we got into royalty, and we had class systems, and we had the church decide who learned what, who got education, who got the knowledge. And there was a lot of control, and there was a lot of disempowerment by the masses. And that is what we're starting to see, the transition out of that. But we also had some other really key things that happened. Sir Isaac Newton, who was a master physicist, he showed us how we live in our physical world. And there were a lot of things that we got understanding of: gravity, forces of nature, different things like that. But Newton believed that we got divisible down to the smallest particle. And once we got down to that smallest particle, nothing else mattered. And so we lost the value of the things that couldn't be quantified, the things that couldn't be seen. We lost the value of love, of empathy, of creativity, of imagination. We lost our connection to our spirituality, to our intuition, and because those things couldn't be quantified. And so we became very siloed. And those silos carried forward into all of our systems. It carried forward into our government, our medical. If you take a look at our medical system now, everything is specialized. And none of those specialties connect to the other specialties. And so our healthcare has been disrupted because we were not talking about the whole. We're now learning that mental health is directly connected to our physical health, and that we cannot dissect any of that. And so that whole silo system that came out of Sir Isaac Newton's principles did a lot of damage, a lot of crap that we need to unlearn. But we also had more. We had our education system. Our education system was built on the Industrial Revolution, because years ago, right after the Dark Ages, when I said information and education was reserved for only a select few. And so when the Industrial Revolution needed people to be able to read and write and follow directions, when they didn't have that information, it became imperative that the government create a public health system that would teach the masses that they had just called out of rural social and community and brought into the city and said, we are going to be able to take care of you. You will have the safety of a paycheck. You will have the safety of the structure we create for you. You won't be at odds with nature for farmers and not knowing what's going to happen. We're going to create structure. And that was seen as a savior. And the education system was saving that whole industrial revolution sector as well. And so we became even more conformed. We were told what to learn, when to learn, how to learn it. And it was all designed to feed jobs. Well, that took away even more of our empowerment. That took away more of our connection to ourself, to our intuition. It took away the need for what we had in our communities with coaches and mentors that were there to help bring out each of our individual geniuses. It actually started to make us sicker. And the Industrial Revolution now industrialized our food system, our medicine, with new drugs and pharmacy, that we got away from root cause and healing into more mass solutions, one pill for every ill. And we got sicker again. And we were taken away from how our body naturally works, because we have three brains. We have the brain you know about here, and that brain is all interconnected with different systems. Our brain has our primal brain, which is designed for safety and survival. And everything is automated to keep us alive, not healthy, not happy, alive. And we've got our emotional brain, which is part of our GPS. Our emotions create chemicals and hormones within our body, but they also create energy that goes out into the world. And that energy that goes out into the world is connected to the energy of other people. And our energies meet and they speak to each other. And it's an entire field that is out there that we have been disconnected from intellectually, but not physically. Because on that level, everything is energy. Nothing can be disconnected from itself. But we weren't aware of it. And that second brain we have is our heart. Do you know that our heart emits more energy and receives more information than our physical brain? Our heart takes in that energetic information and it sends signals to the brain that puts into effect all of the different programs and hormones and cascades to keep us alive. And so when we have different senses within our body, for example, have you heard the saying about the hairs in the back of your neck stood up? Well, that is part of our physical senses that is connecting that energy that is going to our heart and up to our brain and sending all of the information through our body. Our third brain is our first brain that was actually ever created, and that was our gut. That is our digestion system. Because as organisms, at the very basic level, all we do is eat and process and eliminate, eat, process, and eliminate. That's the basis of any microorganism. And our gut is so sophisticated that it has over millions of different categories of microbiome in there. They have dissected our DNA. We know all the different genes. It's all been categorized. But we are now learning all the different categories and purposes of the gut biome. And when it's off balance, how it'll create disease. And so we think that we are just a human being and we're just living in this world, but we have not been educated into how all of those systems are our GPS, and they are there to guide us. It's the uh, emotions, it is the language, it is the information that we are supposed to go through this world with. And so Unlearn the Crap is about teaching you how all of those systems work so that you can connect with your own self, with your information, with what your heart and gut are saying so that you can live in alignment. I talked about the energy of emotions. And the lowest vibrating emotion, because everything vibrates on its own frequency. And the lowest emotion is shame. Shame is a man-made emotion. It means not good enough. It means that you aren't acceptable. And that shame emotion has been used by our society, our structures, our marketing, our government for control. Because when we feel ashamed, we become small and disconnected from our own power. But the highest emotion that they've been able to register is alignment. And so we're learning that if we can align our three brains, our head, our heart, our gut, when we can align with the energy centers within our body, because we are all individual energy centers. And when we can align with our purpose, with our goals, with our dreams, because our dreams are part of that language that is designed to guide us. It's not selfish, it's information. And so the whole purpose of unlearning the crap is for you to know, like you know how it all works, so that when you are just reading a manual and you now get to make decisions about where you fit, what you want, what your purpose is. You were meant to be here for a reason. And when we live on purpose in alignment, we live with passion. We live with excitement. We live with joy. We live in peace, and we live prosperous. We have everything we need. All we have to do is access it and then utilize it. And so that's what Unlearn the Crap is about. I'm in the process of writing the next book, which is How I Unlearned My Crap, where I talk about the stories of how I unlearned all of these lessons and how it all came to be. But that'll be in 2025. So we're just about to go to commercial break, and I will see you in just one moment.
Did you know that your beliefs create your entire reality, but it's the subconscious beliefs that do most of the creating? Belief shifter and life coach Shiraz can help you identify those limiting beliefs and eliminate them, often in a single session.
Like, it was almost instant. Like, I had relief right away.
Creating better health, relationships, careers, and finances. Let Shiraz help you step out of safety and into awareness.
Definitely something's happening. It's like a flow inside. It feels good.
Whether in person or online, Shiraz provides personal coaching, belief shifting. Visit Shiraz at energeticmagic.com or call 416-529-7429. Energetic Magic on the BBM Global Network, Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. Find your greater happiness. Be well. Be aware. Be magical.
Are you struggling to care for elderly parents or a spouse? Do you wonder if being a caregiver is making you sick? Are you worried about taking time off work to care for elderly parents and balance work, life, and caregiving? Has caregiving become exhausting and emotionally draining? Are you an aging adult who wants to remain independent, but you're not sure how? I'm Pamela D. Wilson. Join me for the Caring Generation radio show for caregivers and aging adults, Wednesday evenings, 6 Pacific, 7 Mountain, 8 Central, and 9 Eastern, where I answer these questions and share tips for managing stress, family relationships, health, well-being, and more. Podcasts and transcripts of the Caring Generation are on my website, PamelaDWilson.com, plus my caregiving library, online caregiver support programs, and programs for corporations interested in supporting working caregivers. Help, hope, and support for caregivers is here on the Caring Generation and PamelaDWilson.com.
So what does your 2025 look like? What do you see coming? I mentioned earlier that futurists are predicting that we're going to see exponential change happening in 2025. I talked about it with our guest Naz de la Rosa when we were talking about how it was changing within astrology. Where does that leave you? Our organizations are in flux. We have the advent of serious automation and robotics and AI. And these things are either going to empower you or they're going to disempower you. Are you in one of those 100 industries that are in flux right now, that are trying to figure things out? We're in a post-COVID world. The world is not ever going back to normal. We are not ever going to go back to the place we used to be. That is absolutely impossible. So, do you have control over what is happening in your life, or are you at odds with the winds that are coming at you? Is that change that is coming going to empower you or disempower you? Because what we are finding is that our structures were built on unsustainable foundations, which is what I talked about at the beginning here, on how we were built on misinformation and control over the masses. And that cannot stay. We are in a time where we are using universal laws and we are using them to our power. Do you know, as I'm thinking about that, I really forgot to mention about universal laws. These are the foundation of what I do and use with my clients to help shift from disempowerment to empowerment. It's what I use to help unlearn the crap and release the traumas. So let's play with that right now. The universal law of energy states that everything is energy. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. There's also the universal law of oneness, that because of that, everything is energy, that there is only one. We are all interconnected, interrelated to everything that ever is or ever was. We know now by the quantum physics world that we do not live in a 3D world. There are so many levels and dimensions. We were taught that we have 5 physical senses, when in fact they're finding that we've got over 122, and they're still figuring out the rest of our senses. We only know what we've figured out so far. There are so many universal laws, like the law of cause and effect, the law of compensation. And some of them are my favorites, and some of them have been misoverused. The universal law of attraction that says like attracts like, that is an explanation of how something works or why it works, but it's not a causal universal law. I have a few universal laws that are my absolute favorites. One of them is the law of compensation, which states that you must be equally compensated for what you put out into this world, for your actions, for your contributions. And so many times people get discouraged because they don't also put into the fact that there is the universal law of timing, of gestation. And so we don't know what that timing is. And we put on supposes or what we think should happen. And we take ourselves out of the law of compensation because of thoughts and beliefs about what we have, about how this is supposed to look or how long it's supposed to take. But if you just accept that the law of compensation states that you must be equally compensated for what you put out into this world, then you just trust. You trust it's all on divine timing. Everything is working the way it should. Everything is working for you. And we get out of our own way. We hear about the law of relativity. Well, the law of relativity, when used as personal empowerment, is about the ability to change your perception and your beliefs by changing your point of view, by looking at it from a different angle, because there is no absolute truth. There's only perception of reality. And every single perception is true for that person who's perceiving it. So whatever you think, feel, and believe, it's true. I mean, Henry Ford said it beautifully. If you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. And literally, that's the way perception works. Because our brains are wired to make sure that what we think and believe is proven to be true. Because our brains are designed to be right. Our brains are designed to always make sure that we get what we see and that our results equal what our brain sees. And so if you don't like the results, if you don't like the what you're getting, then you cannot change your weight by looking at the scale and getting mad at the scale. Come on, time to change. I want less of those numbers on there. It doesn't work that way. We have to change what's going on inside. We have to change our set point. We have to change our habits and our thoughts and our behaviors, which all start with our thoughts. And that's the way the relativity law works. But my absolute favorite law is the law of polarity. And the reason I love the law of polarity is because it gives us the exact opposite of what it is we're looking at. Every single thing has a polar opposite. For every dark, there's light. For every up, there's down. Every single thing has its opposite. So if we're getting what we want, we're also getting what we don't want. The question is, how much of it are we getting? Where are we putting our focus? Because both of them exist. And so if we're getting what we don't want, then all we have to do is know that the exact opposite exists. And we just have to turn and use our perception to move into that direction. It is our GPS. It's our choice. And if we think about everything in the relative terms of 100%, I love, 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 love this analogy. If we're thinking about our seesaw, and we have what we want here and what we don't want here. And what we don't want is getting more attention, more weight, more results. And if we focus in on, oh my God, we're not getting what we want. Look at this crap. Look at this mess. And we get angry at it. We put all this negative energy and we put all of these thoughts and feelings and emotions and everything we want or everything we're getting into what we don't want. What are we doing? We're increasing its strength because of our focus, because of our emotions, because of everything we're putting on it. But if we just look at it and say, nah, I don't want that, and we let it go, and we put all of our attention, all of our focus in on what we do want, regardless of what we think our current reality says. Because there's this whole crappy belief that says, I must acknowledge the truth of where I am. This is the reality. I have to focus in on that. Okay. But that's where you're putting all your time and attention, is on the things that you don't want. And that's why your reality continues. But as soon as you put all of your time and your energy and your focus and your emotions and your passion and your purpose, all of that into what you do want, now your brain must be right again. And it's going to bring you more. And it's going to shed light on the opportunities. And it's going to illuminate so that you see more and more proof that you are right. That what you want is what you have, is what you're getting. It's all a part of the universal laws. And I know it sounds simplistic, and it really, really is. The problem is we have to unlearn the crap that gets in the way of that simplicity. And so when you're thinking about what do you want in 2025, our systems are changing. They're breaking. They're falling apart. They're evolving. They're growing. They're morphing. And what does that say about where you are? Are you in alignment with who you naturally are? Are you in alignment with your dreams, with your goals? Are you in alignment with what you want? Because if you're not, there's some crap in the way, and there is a solution for that. And while you subscribe and like to this channel, and we head off to commercial break, when we come back, I'm going to talk to you about how I can help you unlearn your crap and how we're going to take this amazing time that we're in and create the most freaking amazing 2025 ever when we come back.
Did you know that your beliefs create your entire reality, but it's the subconscious beliefs that do most of the creating? Belief shifter and life coach Shiraz can help you identify those limiting beliefs and eliminate them, often in a single session.
Like, it was almost instant. Like, I had relief right away.
Creating better health, relationships, careers, and finances. Let Shiraz help you step out of safety and into awareness.
Definitely something's happening. It's like a flow inside. It feels good.
Whether in person or online, Shiraz provides personal coaching, belief shifting. Visit Shiraz at energeticmagic.com or call 416-529-7429. Energetic Magic on the BBM Global Network, Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. Find your greater happiness. Be well. Be aware. Be magical.
Are you struggling to care for elderly parents or a spouse? Do you wonder if being a caregiver is making you sick? Are you worried about taking time off work to care for elderly parents and balance work, life, and caregiving? Has caregiving become exhausting and emotionally draining? Are you an aging adult who wants to remain independent, but you're not sure how? I'm Pamela D. Wilson. Join me for the Caring Generation radio show for caregivers and aging adults, Wednesday evenings, 6 Pacific, 7 Mountain, 8 Central, and 9 Eastern, where I answer these questions and share tips for managing stress, family relationships, health, well-being, and more. Podcasts and transcripts of The Caring Generation are on my website, PamelaDWilson.com, plus my caregiving library, online caregiver support programs, and programs for corporations interested in supporting working caregivers. Help, hope, and support for caregivers is here on The Caring Generation and PamelaDWilson.com.
So, if you're not getting the results that you want, if you got crap in your way, and today is the day that version 2 of Unlearn the Crap is now available in bookstores and on Amazon and everywhere else, let me help you. And I got some really sweet offers for you right now. If you grab your copy of Unlearn the Crap and send me a copy receipt of your book, all you have to do is do that, and I will have a special discount for you, because I have so many ways that I can help you unlearn your crap and step into your zone of genius. I've created an Unlearn the Crap community, and my community is the foundation of everything that I do. There are weekly group calls where we talk about different issues and solutions, and I am there to help in all different ways of sharing the information, having insights, guidance, one-on-one calls with that, as well as having the community of resources that are within there. So when you purchase your copy of Unlearn the Crap book, you're going to get a discount to that monthly community. But if you need more assistance, I have a program, a 8 or a 12-week program, where I will help you on a weekly basis, as well as with the community, as well as with the books, as well as with all the courses and everything else that I've created, to help you identify and quickly, painlessly, because I do not believe in being re-traumatized, help you shed the crap that's in your way. Why am I doing this? You know, I could have easily have unlearned my crap and then just went about my way. But I came to realize through my own transformation that I truly, with all of my being, believe that when each and every one of us unlearns our crap, when we step into our alignment and we are living our purpose individually, that we're part of the collective, we're part of the collaborative environment where we all are in this together. When we do this, and we are all living with peace and passion and purpose and full on prosperity, when we are living in collaborative communities, I see no possible way for war, for hatred, for hunger. I see no way that anyone could harm another person, because hurt people hurt other people. Damaged souls only emit what they have. And so when we go inward, when we take care of our own self, not only do we cut the ties to ancestral trauma and make sure that it does not go forward, we heal future generations. We change our current DNA. We change the energy that we have. We create from our abundance, with our abundance. We create our image, our whatever's inside must come outside. That is part of the universal laws. So my mission is to do anything and everything I can to help you unlearn your crap, as we all collectively unlearn our crap, and we share our resources, and we heal those traumas, and we release and let it go, because we only hang on to that if we choose to, if we don't understand that there is another way. And so that is my mission. That is my vision. That is what I am bringing to 2025. I am out speaking as many places as I can. I'm so excited that I'm going to be showcased on a public broadcasting in the United States, on a new television show called Recipe for Wellness with Sanjay Raja. We're all talking about how to bring wellness, and Unlearn the Crap is part of that. 2025, I'm going to be a part of the Women Thrive Summit in March of 2025, where a collaborative of women are coming to help each and every one of us unlearn different parts of our lives. I have the community, my books. I have my coaching programs, my one-on-one programs. There is so much that each and every one of us can bring to 2025. I shared with you what some of mine is. What's yours? Do you really know and believe it? Do you feel it? Can you see it? If you can't, reach out to me. I can be found at unlearnthecrap.com. I can be found at kathybaldwin.me. I am actually here to help in any way possible. And so this is my mission. This is my vision. This is my passion. This is my purpose. I'm asking, what's yours? What does it look like? Where are your gifts? What part of the weave is you? You're not meant to go this alone. None of us are. And so as we clear up and finish up with 2024, I wish you nothing but the greatest clearing, energy, healing, and let it all go. Leave 2024 and all of that past in the past. Step with me into 2025. Hold my hand. Let me help. Let's collaborate. Let's share. Let's do this together. Is your mission and vision as big and as powerful as mine is? I know it is. So I look forward to seeing you again in 2025. Excuse me. Part of us not being all perfect. May 2025 bring you everything you've ever wanted. And I'm here for you. Thank you for being with me in this year. And let's rock it next year.
This has been Unlearn the Crap TV with your host, Kathy Baldwin. Tune in each week as Kathy challenges you to rethink everything you know about personal empowerment and societal structures. Thursdays, 4 p.m. Eastern on the Bold Brave TV network.